Welcome to the West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission Economic Development video series. Each segment in this series provides information on some of the tools, strategies, and resources available to communities to assist with a variety of economic development projects or programs in West Central Wisconsin. These videos were developed and produced by the West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission with funding support from the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration. Most people recognize a downtown when they see one, but when it begins to lose its seemingly obvious traits, it becomes more difficult. Historically, downtowns have been the center of economic activities in most communities. Downtowns often represented the heart of the community, an area where people would gather and shop. The role of downtown has been changing as the economy and our demographics change. For most West Central Wisconsin communities, our downtowns were largely developed over 100 years ago and were the economic and service hub for the community and surrounding area. Today, we have fewer small farms, commuting distances have increased dramatically, and residents are traveling further for shopping and services, not to mention the ability to now purchase online and have goods delivered to your door. These changes have had profound impacts on our downtowns. In short, many of our downtowns were built for a larger and different market than what exists today. There may be more commercial property downtown than what today's market can support, too often resulting in vacant storefronts and deteriorating structures. However, many downtowns are experiencing a resurgence as community gathering places, and local volunteers and businesses are stepping up and becoming more organized in a grassroots fashion within many communities in support of downtown revitalization efforts. We shouldn't expect that our downtowns of today will have the same form or function that our downtowns had 50 or 100 years ago. As local economies and demographics change, downtowns need to adapt. This includes reevaluating the economic position, niche, or brand of your downtown, as well as your related land use and zoning plans and policies. Your strategy must also address the maintenance and upkeep of the vacant and deteriorating buildings, which is the focus of this video. Maintaining our downtown buildings are important for a number of reasons. Foremost, these buildings house the destinations that attract people to a downtown in the first place, in addition to housing employees and residents. These buildings comprise a significant portion of the community's tax base. Downtowns generate the highest tax value per acre for most of our communities. Buildings that are filled and maintained reflect the economic vibrancy of a community. The community's historical central business district often includes a concentration of older buildings that are recognizable and core to the community's reputation, identity, and sense of place. Historic buildings are important because they provide the unique character that distinguishes the downtown from the rest of the community and other communities. And lastly, a concentration of connected buildings and destinations are core to what makes a downtown unique. The traditional downtown streetscape is a unified wall that creates an inviting and walkable environment. It encourages the visitor to explore, stop at multiple storefronts, and to linger. When buildings are vacant or torn down, gaps are created in this unified wall, and the cohesion of downtown fragments. Together, a vibrant, connected downtown with a strong sense of place not only fosters community pride and is an important gathering place, but can be a destination that attracts visitors and additional investment within the community. Maintaining your downtown buildings is an important part of achieving these goals. Keeping downtown buildings filled is a priority economic development goal for most communities, and properly maintaining a building can assist with this effort. Some buildings end up being vacant due to building conditions. Let's hear from Larry Sommerfeld, a retired AIA licensed architect, as he shares some of the history of constructing downtown buildings.
When a person looks at downtown commercial areas, you tend to see brick buildings with a lot of wood on the inside, posts and beams. The history behind that is back in the mid-late 1800s, wood was the only material available for construction. Over time, as downtown areas developed, wood structures came to be placed close together, which in the case there'd be a fire that would start in one building and that would spread to adjacent buildings, and before long the whole downtown area was razed. After those fires, the buildings officials started to require that the shell of the building be brick, the insides could still be wood, in order to stop the spread of fire if it occurred in one building from spreading to the next. Those buildings primarily had firewalls that separated the adjacent properties because they were built right next to one another. The roof areas sloped to the back for drainage of the water so it didn't drain on pedestrians walking into the front of the building.
Larry also identified some common physical or structural challenges often found with older downtown buildings, which include hazardous materials such as asbestos, mold, or lead paint, structural damage from moisture, code changes, including new accessibility requirements, changes in structural loading requirements, and possible plumbing and mechanical system changes, inadequate infrastructure, and the unknowns, such as costs or other required approvals or historical limitations. While there are many things to consider when dealing with historical buildings, Larry points out that there are several benefits to renovation over new construction, including the construction cost of renovating tends to be less than new construction. Renovating an existing building has less of a carbon footprint on the environment. Historical character, architectural details are preserved, and the renovation of an older building can often spark other revitalization efforts and help make downtown a destination. As a community, it's important that you don't wait until it's too late to maintain a building. By being proactive through regulations and other licensing or programming efforts, a community can maintain a level of control over the appearance and physical integrity of its downtown buildings, both of which contribute to a vibrant downtown. As a community, it is important to make sure people are paying attention to building and property conditions and encouraging collaboration. So what is a community to do if a building is sitting in a poor condition and causing a health and safety concern? Mr. Stephen Nick, city attorney for the city of Eau Claire, stressed the importance of knowing the facts of the building by undertaking an assessment. This will help the community best understand the situation and options for moving forward in remedying the situation.
How do you have a positive working relationship with entities like your local Chamber of Commerce, your Main Street organization, neighborhood associations, so they know that they can bring concerns to you early? Individual business owners who may self-recognize that I'm having a challenge keeping this property at the level that I want, but what are available resources that I may have? Pay attention to this issue. Know it's an issue in every community and intentionally provide staff resources and encourage that type of collaboration that I referenced earlier in the interview between the public and private sectors to continuously focus on this issue.
While it's preferable to reach a cooperative solution with the property owner, it's important that you follow solid procedures, including identify your concerns, share the concerns with the property owner, and document the details in a letter, being sure to indicate expectations and a time frame for completion. Sometimes a building's condition is such that renovation or recovery is not feasible. In this case, building removal may be necessary. It is important to have a building properly evaluated for structural integrity and to identify any needed repairs. After this assessment, you may find that the building is beyond repair. If building demolition is determined to be necessary, there are a few things that a community should consider. First, what is the infill plan for the space once the building is removed? Do you address this in your comprehensive plan or downtown revitalization plan? It's important that you think ahead and have a plan for this space. On a similar note, it's important to ensure that the new use will be compatible and help maintain the desired downtown connectivity that is critical to downtowns. Don't let the lot sit empty. See that it is utilized and contributes to the downtown experience. Harmony Courtyard in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin was created to fill an empty 0.2-acre lot that was left downtown following building demolition. The park is used by the Main Street program for Thursday night concerts and various murals and dedications. What was once an empty lot now serves a community purpose and provides a unique space for people to gather and explore. Third, while determining whether renovation is feasible or whether raising will be necessary, first and foremost, it's important to address safety, but then strive to keep the storefront or space filled so that it contributes to the downtown continuity and is less of a drain on the overall vibrancy of the business district. Get creative with the use of space. Consider temporary window displays, some paint, flowers, and plantings, or pop-up retail. And lastly, if the building is raised, explore opportunities to use the lot temporarily until new construction occurs. Again, get creative. Use the lot for pop-up activities, markets, or other events. Keep the lot active in an attempt to not create a gap in your downtown. We want to share some of the more commonly available financial tools that can assist communities and property owners with identifying and addressing deteriorating downtown buildings. First, there are facade loans. The Regional Business Fund, Inc., which serves 7 counties in west central Wisconsin, has a facade loan fund that provides financial assistance to encourage property or business owners in core downtowns to revitalize downtown commercial buildings. There are also small business loans, where a variety of lenders, including the Regional Business Fund, can assist small businesses by providing loans for building renovations. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation's Community Development Investment Grant Program can also be used to assist with revitalization efforts. The grant program supports redevelopment efforts by providing financial incentives for catalytic, shovel-ready projects with emphasis on downtown, community-driven efforts. This grant program will support renovations of an old Ford building into a commercial space and set of apartments in the village of Argyle, Wisconsin. The village is working with a local developer to renovate the building, which has been underused for the past 28 years. The project is important to the economic health of the community and will likely serve as a catalyst for future investments in the village. Tax increment financing, otherwise known as TIF, and business improvement districts, or BID, are 2 other community tools that can be used to incentivize revitalization of downtown buildings. Municipalities could also look to acquire deteriorating downtown buildings and get involved in the redevelopment efforts. Other financial programs include historic tax credits, energy programs, environmental lead hazard reduction, and others. So, what can a community do to help make downtown an even better place? What are some of the next steps for your own community? First, inventory your downtown buildings and uses. Be aware of what's there. How many buildings are vacant? What's the condition of the buildings? Are there opportunities to subdivide a larger building for multiple smaller businesses? Programs such as the WEDC Connect Communities program requires you to know information about your downtown. Be proactive and get to know your downtown buildings. Next, bring together downtown landowners, businesses, and other community stakeholders who are interested in downtown revitalization and facilitate a discussion on why your buildings are empty or deteriorating, and then advocate and take action. Undertake a market analysis. What uses are needed in your downtown? What opportunities are there to fill vacant storefronts? Can you take steps to bring entrepreneurs and property owners together, such as hosting a building tour? Prepare a revitalization strategy, potentially as part of your comprehensive plan. Identify those buildings that are vacant or in need of rehabilitation. Find ways to clean them up and ensure their structural integrity. As part of this strategy, review your regulatory tools and consider whether a vacant building ordinance may be right for your community, and explore how best to leverage and supplement existing financial tools to achieve your goals. While the role of downtowns has changed, they continue to be a key economic contributor and the heart of many of our communities. It's critical that downtown buildings be maintained so they are available for business use and also contribute to the overall attractiveness of the community. Being proactive through steps such as those discussed during this video can help your downtown be an attractive, vibrant place.